my name is Julie Faye Fan Balzer, and today I'm going to show you how to make a dimensional flower using some built-in flower designs right in your Scan & Cut. We're going to begin cutting the pieces for our flower by choosing pattern, and from the built-in patterns I'm going to go, remember each of these is a cover for more designs, and I'm going to choose this flower right down here that has the two parts. For the size of the flower, I have chosen to make mine 5.75 inches wide. You can make yours any size you want. I've done these as large as making the flower almost 12 by 12. It's just whatever you want your finished size your flower to be. It will be a bit smaller than whatever you choose. So I'm going to hit OK. Now remember I said this flower is in two parts. So I only want the outside part. I'm not interested in that little inside part. So I'm just going to choose part A. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now in terms of how many of them I want, I actually want to have 5. But remember, my mat's 12 by 12. I don't think 5 are going to fit on there. I'm hoping, though, that 4 will fit on there. So I'm going to choose 4 for my number. And I did that just by hitting the plus key. Then I'm going to hit set. But oh no, the machine is going to tell me that there's not enough space on the mat. It'll only take 3. So I'm going to say OK, reduce it to 3, hit set, and now I can see 3 on my mat. But I happen to know a secret, which is I know that I can fit 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the machine to rearrange these. Now I could, of course, drag this over, but the machine will actually rearrange things for you as long as it's with a built-in design from the machine. You can only do this with built-in designs. Right here from these 3 triangles, I'm going to ask the machine to reorganize it in the most space-efficient way, which is this top choice here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And looky, it has rearranged those in a space-efficient way, and I'm willing, to bet that I can fit a last one, fit it right there. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit Add. I'm going to choose this outside flower shape again. And here's really a cool thing. The machine has remembered the size that I did it at before. And it's right there for me. I only want one. I'm going to hit set. And the machine is going to place it perfectly so it's going to fit right on that page. Now I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit cut. But first, I'm going to open up the machine and set my blade. I'm going to lift up the holder on the blade carriage. I'm going to pull out my blade. Cardstock tends to be about a 4. So one of the things I will do is I'll just make sure my blade is all the way closed by pushing it past 12. And then I'm going to go ahead and back it down to 4. So if you're nervous at all, be sure to do a test cut so that you make sure you don't cut through your mat, but you do cut through your paper. And we're going to go ahead and press start, and that is going to cut out for me. So once it's done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat, and I can peel off the outside to reveal my beautiful cuts. And then I can go ahead and peel off the flowers. I do like to put my hand under to bend the mat. I think it's easier to pull them off. And there's one flower. Now, I cut 4 flowers, and I do need 5 flowers to make my finished one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one more, and then I will meet you over at my desk to turn these into a really super cool dimensional paper flower. Okay, so now I have my 5 beautiful flowers cut out of double-sided paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut pieces of each one out. So with the first one, I'm going to go ahead just with a pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut out 1 petal. So now I have these 2 different pieces. And the next one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out 2 petals. So now I have these 2 pieces. The next one, I bet you can guess this one, you guys. I'm going to cut out, if you said 3, you are super correct. I'm going to cut out 3 petals. So now I have 2 pieces. The next one, we're going to go for 4 because I can count 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you don't need to be exact about this. You're just sort of doing it. Now, this last one, this is a 10-petal flower. So if I cut it in half, that's 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 2 5s, which is exactly what I want. So now I have all these pieces of flowers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to roll and overlap. Now, I am using a quick dry liquid adhesive because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue onto one of the petals right by the cut, okay? I'm going to overlap the next petal, and that's going to start to curve this. Now, one of the reasons that I really like to use double-sided paper is being exact, it doesn't really matter. Now, instead of holding this forever, you can either use a paper clip, which is what I have right here, to just hold it in place, and that's going to give that wet adhesive time to dry. Or you can use, I have some mini binder clips in there as well. So I am just going to continue to work my way around, repeating this over and over. Now with double-sided paper, you have a choice of which side is inside the flower and which side is out. If you're like me, you like to mix it up a little, which I do. I like to mix it up. I will often put together some of them one way, some of them other ways. If you're more of a perfectionist or if the colors are vastly different, then go ahead and do it the same every way. And this process is going to be the same no matter how large your final flower is going to be. So I'm not going to make you watch me roll all of these. I do want to make one quick note. When we get to some of the smaller ones, these little bitty ones, the ones and the twos, and you're thinking, Julie, how on earth am I going to roll these? And I'm going to say, instead of just overlapping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a plain old paintbrush. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it more into sort of a circle shape, and if it's a loose circle, it's not a exact circle. You could also take a ballpoint pen, whatever. You're just trying to get it to overlap a little bit more, and then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right in there, and this is going to be the flower center, so it's okay if it's a little bit more on the tight side. I even ripped the paper there, and that's totally fine, not a big deal. And again, I'm just going to grab a paper clip, stick it down in there so I don't actually have to sit there and hold it. Of course, if you're working with some lovely assistants like your children or your husband, you can certainly have them hold it for you for an hour. And then it's going to take an hour to dry. And then I'm going to continue to do that. Even with this little one petal one, you can certainly just take your paintbrush, your pen, or whatever you want, and go ahead and roll it around. Now with this little center one, I wouldn't even glue it. The paper is going to hold that shape, so it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue all these together, and then I will see you in just a minute. My pieces are now dry and unclipped, so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to put them together by size, meaning the one that is one petal is going to go inside this one. But before I can do that, except for really the one petal, I want to take that paintbrush or ballpoint pen or whatever it is you're using, that round thing, and I'm simply going to roll the petals here. And all I'm doing is folding it right over the brush or the round object and pulling it back. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick that center one in just like that, and you can see the beginnings of my flower coming together. So then I'm going to go ahead and go to the next size, and again I'm going to go ahead and roll it. Technically, actually, this was probably the one that goes here. Well, isn't it lucky I didn't do any gluing? And I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and put it right in. Now, this is a good time to start talking about gluing. As soon as they get a little bit fussy going together and they don't slip together perfectly, that's when you're going to start thinking about putting a little bit of glue right around the edges that are touching, like so. Nothing too exact here. This is all just, plants, flowers, they're organic living matter. No two look alike, and they're never perfect. And then I'm going to keep on moving up and curling as I go, and it should all come together very quickly. So here you can see my completed flower, and it's ready for a hairpin, it's ready for a wrist corsage, it's ready to decorate absolutely anything. And in fact, I recently made some really cute little heart boxes with decorated flowers, just like you see, just like we made, and these ones I just made with paper I painted instead of ready scrapbook paper. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll visit my blog at bulgedesigns.typepad.com for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. And of course, be sure to visit the ScanNCut website at scanandcut.com.